And welcome to a very somber LSU post-game show on Big Blue Breakdown. Oh, it was a rough one. It's a loss. I got a mourning as we speak. I don't know how well you guys want to tune in and interact today. I know typically after a loss, I don't even like to talk about it. I definitely don't want to even think about it again. It was a rough one. 75-73. Oh me. Look, it'll be all right. It was not a good. I don't know. I thought it was going to be. I was hoping for a blowout. I was hoping for a win. We needed a win. I felt like that win, but hey, that was a slap in the face. Not by the team, not by the team's performance. Yet it was a slap in the face by just the schedule. The schedule hit us. We thought, hey, smooth sailing until Tennessee. I'd be interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are. I'm going to share some of this video to some of your pages. If you're in any Kentucky pages, share this. If you're share this on your timeline, share this wherever you can. I just want to interact with all the UK fans I possibly can. I don't know how, like I said, I don't know how talkative, how chatty you guys will be today. I don't even watch sports for the next 24 to 48 hours, or at least probably until Saturday, especially what's happening right now. I was going to watch Duke Louisville because I was anticipating a win. But I'm sorry, guys. But after that, I don't want Duke to win. I sure don't want Louisville to win. Living in Louisville, I don't want to hear we beat them, they beat us. It's just a rough one. But it'll be okay because I was in the same chair. I was in the same emotion. I had the same feeling a couple of weeks back after we lost to Alabama. I thought, Lord, we lose to Alabama, then we beat Auburn. We beat Auburn on the road. We beat Kansas. So that's kind of a moot point. 2 games I thought we would lose, we didn't lose. I thought we were going to lose to, the loss of Seton Hall did this, 2-point loss. Now, this one had a bit of a different thing. This one, and I can't blame any of the kids. They weren't here. They were, 4 years ago, they were freshmen in high school. But this one felt like that 2014 Arkansas game. But we went down into Arkansas, played them tough. They drove to the basket. We didn't block out. They had a putback dunk as time expired. This one, look, I'm gonna stop and say, if we win at Tennessee, if we win Tennessee Saturday and at Tennessee, and this is our only 4th loss, I'll be ecstatic because this LSU team is going to be tough. This LSU, I actually think this is a Sweet 16. This is a Sweet 16 LSU team, maybe even Elite 8, depending on the matchup. This is going to be a loss you have to shelf. I'm going to shelf this loss if we lose a couple more times. If we drop both Tennessee teams, we don't win the SEC tournament, then this one's going to sting. This one's going to be that game that they talk about letting slip away. This is going to be the difference between a 1 seed, 2 seed, maybe even a 3 or a 4 seed, depending on what the rest of the season holds. If we're able to win Tennessee, if we're able to win at Tennessee, if we're able to somehow win the SEC tournament, and this is just going to be another tasteless loss. It's not going to be a bad loss. It's not going to be anything that's going to hurt us when March rolls around. But you're going to have to carry this for a little bit. You're going to have to carry this. There's going to be doubt. There's going to be frustration. Saturday is going to change a whole lot of things. If we come away with a win Saturday, keep this loss on the shelf. Like I said, it ain't ready to be put away yet. But a win versus Saturday will make it. A win on Saturday versus Tennessee will make this feel much better. A win next, 2 Saturdays from now at Tennessee will all but forgive this. If we win at Tennessee, this will cancel each other out. It's like this didn't even happen. That's what's really, that Duke loss at the beginning of the season, nothing can offset that unless you win a national title. So that one's still on the shelf up there, and it's ugly sitting on that shelf. The Seton Hall win was It was ugly. It was a bad shot, down 2, no timeout called, frustrated fans. But we went on and we won at Auburn. So that canceled it. I could throw it away. It's not going to hurt me now. That loss at Alabama, great final couple minutes to come back down 11 to lose by 2, but there was some frustration. Reed Travis got a traveling call on a basket that should have been scored. It was a 2-point game. I put that on the shelf. It sat there ugly on the shelf. We beat Kansas. I was able to strap that because I traded a loss for a loss. I thought at Auburn, I thought at Kansas, I thought at Auburn, I thought Kansas was going to be losses. They weren't. I can scrap that. This LSU loss is going to sit on my shelf until that at Tennessee game, and or then if they all compile up their national championship, we'll then take down the entire shelf. Unpopular opinion. I see a lot of people out there saying bad call by the refs. It wasn't. That tip pass at the end, 73-71, LSU beat us last second. That was a good tip. The ball was off the rim. It was almost outside of the rim, so it wasn't really offensive interference. There was plenty of time. There was a half a second after it left. The problem we had, not even breaking down the entire game, we let a lead slip away. We made some questionable basket or some questionable plays. Keldon Johnson had a basket that went in. I mean, you can't really hold much against that because we did get free throws after that, so it wouldn't have really made a difference one way or the other. But let's be, as fans, let's call a spade a spade. Let's realize that good play by LSU, a heads-up play by the LSU big man. We sent 3 guys to block that shot, and they had 2 guys. It could have easily been a dunk back in. It wasn't. We have to. I get it. You don't know. It's hard to know what's the difference in a 1 second and a half a second. Everybody wanted to make sure we get that shot blocked, but nobody was there to block out. Nobody was to box out. No one was there to keep that man from putting it back in. It's a loss. Like I said, I'm going to shelf it. So I always wear a Kentucky Kentucky shirt for my games. This one's the Kentucky Darth Vader because I feel like we're the evil empire. I feel like I should put this back in the closet though because it didn't have really good results. I don't really know what my record is with this shirt on, but as of right now I'm 0-1, and this upsets me. But we got a loss. It's sitting on that shelf. I still love this team. I'm still excited. I still think the hosting the national championship is well in our reach. I mean, you look at every team we've ever had, at least under Cal era, minus 15, or even with 15, there were some wins that we probably should have lost. So don't be too hard. It's all right to be disappointed. It's all right to be bummed. It's all right, but don't go hard on the kids. The kids played a good game. There were some learning opportunities. We're still in a great spot to get a title, a 1 seed still. So that's what I found. That's what I do enjoy about this game. I'll be honest with you. When I started watching this game, I thought this show was going to be kind of Manila. I thought I was just going, what am I going to talk about? Because we've gotten to kind of a point of the season where winning's important, but we got to a point of the season where they all just kind of jumbled together. You're like, that good play, was that against Mississippi State or was that against Florida? Was that against, you didn't, nothing, since the Kansas game, nothing really stood out because it was kind of a lull in the schedule. Well, I'm here to tell you, fans. I'm here to tell you, friends, that we are here. The buzzsaw of the rest of our schedule is here. Tennessee twice. Auburn again, wanting revenge. At Missouri, we lost there last year. At Ole Miss, they're a pesky team. An Arkansas team that's going to fight, and a Florida team that's going to fight. I'm telling you guys, if you didn't have a reason, if you were sitting back watching the games like this, if you were laid on your couch with your iPhone in your hand, you have a reason to watch now. Because we're here. We're at the part of this where our destiny is being defined. Our makeup is being our team. The DNA of this team is going to be tested over the next month. I was going to, maybe 5 weeks, 4 weeks now? 4.5? The DNA of this team is about to get tested. So, I know. I'm sitting here on my couch. I can't do anything to have an effect on this game, but I feel like I'm feeding off the team in the way, and vice versa. And imagine if it's happening to me here, it's happening at Rupp, it's happening on the road. Guys, it's here. And I hate that we got here by this loss, but the buzzsaw's here. And I'm frustrated. I'm bummed. I'm not frustrated. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm bummed that we lost, but I'm starting to pick myself back up because that slippery slope of the buzzsaw end of the year, which is really enjoy this. Not just because this team could be something special, not because you're going to miss this team when it's gone. I truly believe that win, lose, or draw, that you are going to miss this team when this season is over. I don't care if one person goes pro. I don't care if none of them go pro. This team, with Reed Travis leaving, a big key to this cause, will not be here. So enjoy this team and enjoy what we have here. Very seldom. I mean, very seldom. When's the last time I started really watching Kentucky in '96? I was born in '89, so I was like 7. The first real national championship, the first real game I remember was the Arizona National Championship. I've watched the other on VHS. But when's the last time that Kentucky has been in this spot and the entire end of the season? Usually by the time we get to this part of the SEC tournament, either you're on Kentucky or the SEC is just trash. Man, this Kentucky team's good. Man, this conference is tough. And I'm telling you, the next 2 months, I don't know how, I can't whistle. Going to go by. I'm telling you. Tennessee Saturday. It's here. Like I said, we got that LSU loss shelved. Tennessee lost here. Or Tennessee game here. At Missouri here. Tennessee, Auburn, Arkansas, Florida. It's all here. Next thing you know, it's Friday, SEC tournament. Boom, Selection Sunday. It's here. There's no more, who's Kentucky play tonight? I don't know. No, it's here. It stinks we lost, and I'm trying to slow down because I don't want this to be, man, it seems like just the other day was that John Wall year. John Wall came out doing the dance. It seems like just the other day. Boom, decade ago. It seemed like just yesterday. 38-0. I got the 38-1 shirt. I thought about wearing it. That was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Those guys are pros, making big money, signing second contracts. The seasons go fast enough as it is. This team's special. I don't know how much longer Cal's going to be here. I don't know how much longer these kids will be here. I don't know what the future of college basketball, the NBA, the G League. I don't know how much longer things are going to be what they are. We're always going to be Kentucky fans. But this team only has a select few games. Now, I'm still inspired. I'm getting through that loss. I'm not going to watch ESPN. I'm going to watch Netflix and Hulu for the next, 4 days. And then I'll pick it back up, and we'll be here on Saturday with the Tennessee game. But, man, it's going to go quick. Because those games, and you know what I'm talking about, the games where it feels like your heart's in a vice grip, where it feels like someone's got their knee on your chest, and you can't do anything about it. Because you're not playing the game. You're not contributing. Unless maybe you're at the game and you're causing ruckus, you're really not doing anything. But, man, you just want a certain outcome. Because I'm telling you, that's going to happen. Tennessee, twice. Auburn, Arkansas, Florida. SEC tournament. I guarantee you we run into LSU. I'm expecting a revenge tour LSU in the SEC tournament. Auburn, LSU, Tennessee championship game. Calling it now. You heard it. February 12th. SEC tournament or NCAA tournament. I said this last week. NCAA tournament. Everybody says the NCAA committee. I said this like I said last week. Everybody says the NCAA committee hates us. No, they love us. The NCAA committee, ESPN, they love Kentucky because we bring in that green stuff. So when that bracket comes out and you see Kentucky and then you see North Carolina and you see Louisville and you see IU and you see every team imaginable in that bracket, you're going to say, man, the committee hates us. I say no. I say the committee loves us and they love the money we bring. I say all that to say the next 2 months, gone. I'm telling you, it'll be here. Hoisting the title, Heartbreak City, Final Four, first round loss, whatever happens, we'll be here like that. Let's see, some of you guys in here chatting. I'm going back. Here we got Gabe. Like I said, this is a while back. Yeah, the losses are never as bad and the wins are never as big. But they are. I'm not disagreeing. But all this, look, it's in a box somewhere. I have to show you. I'm in denial. I have a box of denial. I have a 40-0 Kentucky shirt. I used to work for the newspaper, the local paper. I have a newspaper that celebrates us going 40-0. They printed it and they was going to produce it. Obviously, had we completed that run, we didn't. I'm in the now. I go in that, and I'm going to show my kids and my grandkids one day, and hopefully they don't ever Google it. I'm going to show them and say, hey, we win. I'm in denial. So, yes, no, every loss isn't as good as they are. Every win or every loss isn't that bad, and every win minus the national title isn't as good as it is, because even like 2014, those great big shots versus Michigan and Wisconsin and Louisville and Wichita State, they lose their luster if you don't close the deal. So, yeah, it's not as big, but it is for now. Right now, it is. When I go to bed, I'm going to lay here and say, man, if we get out, or if Hero would have hit the three as a 1-point game and we walk out, we win. Or maybe even score faster and you get to the final possession. I don't know. All right. Yeah, anybody was watching, anybody listened to Big Blue Breakdown last week, me and Mike, we was drinking the Kool-Aid. We got some right here. We was drinking the Kool-Aid. Just got married. I do what she says. You got to if you want to win the game. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I said 40-point win, 30-point win. Nah, didn't happen. It's on me. I own that. So Mike's in here asking, does this mean we beat Tennessee twice? I like our chances. I like our chances of now being peskier, being a little friskier, a little not lackadaisical. I don't think Cal's going to let us go in there and sleepwalk that game. Julia said, how do I know all that? I'm sorry I'm late. I'm not really sure what that is. Billy is being a Duke fan in here, talking all that smack. Yeah. All right, Nick Washington has to grow up and play ball. I assume you're talking P.J. Washington or maybe Nick Richards. They both need to step up and play ball. And P.J.'s playing great. I mean, he plays good. So I caution everyone, the bad thing about this team is going to be the good thing about this team, and vice versa. Win by the sword, you die by the sword. Every team that wins the title, probably in the history of titles, have an identity. Our identity is a weird one. It's an intriguing one. It's 2015, but more defined. 2015 was just platoon no matter what. 5 in, 5 out like this. This team's more defined. Everybody has their roles. The beauty of it is, man, anybody can beat you. And you're going to need that when March gets here. When March gets here and you open up and you play that team that has like nobody good, but they're just a bunch of 3-point shooters, you're going to need the body that can abuse that. That's when Nick Richards is going to be here. 7 foot tall, and they don't have anybody over 6'7", and when he is, he's 120 pounds. We got that. Second round. They're not really a good team, but they got that one good player that can put up 40. Do you have something that can stop it? Ashton Hagans. Yes, we do. Sweet 16, a decent team. Do you have the depth to run with it? Yes, we do. Elite 8, Final 4, national championship games. It could be a bevy of different things. Do you have a big man? We sure do. If you play a team that is scrappy, I haven't really got to watch much, but maybe like a Villanova type, that's where I think PJ is going to dominate. We get into a Duke, we get into a Michigan, Tyler Hero, Keldon Johnson. So, yes, we don't have that one person who's going to be that guy. We don't have your Romeo Langford at IU. We don't have your R.J. Barrett, Zion Williams. And when it's bad, it's bad. When there's confusion, when it's kind of becomes a semi-pro, Jackie Moon, whatever his name was, you take the ball, I take the ball. But when it's good, it can't be stopped. I think back to that Florida game. Don't get too far away. Florida game was right there. Look back, roll back in time a little bit, hit that DVR. Everybody, once it started clicking, everything started clicking. You couldn't double down on PJ. He was kicking out to Tyler. You couldn't close out on Tyler. He's kicking it down to Keldon. When it starts clicking, it's going to be great. So we have a very weird but defined identity. And I think it's going to send us places. We just got to deal with this. And look, I mean, look at Louisville. They're top 15 in the country. Really don't have that many more. They don't have really any more impressive wins than we got. Maybe with Michigan State at home. They got 7 losses. This is one of those years where, yes, the top seeds are sitting there with 1 and 2 losses, but everybody else has 8, 9. You're going to see a 2 seed with probably 7 losses. You're going to see a 4 seed with 8 losses, 9 losses. It's just one of those years. And it's going to be okay, this loss, if we can just bounce back from it. If we sit around, we suck, we hang our heads, it's going to hurt us. But if we build from it, 4 losses isn't going to hurt us. And I think this Final Four is going to be a party for the elite. It's a very interesting year in basketball. There's the top, then there's everybody else. When you fill out your bracket, if you're a guy that fills out your bracket practically, and you're like, you don't try to do cute things, you don't flip a coin, you don't pick who had the better mascot, your bracket's going to look pretty good this year. I'm telling you. Because the top is the top, and the bottom's the bottom. Now, will there be an upset? A 12 is going to take a 5. It always happens. But teams, there's probably 6 teams that can win the title. Duke, Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan State, because they never count Tom Izzo out. I'm going to invite Virginia to that club because they're just so defensive. I don't think Gonzaga does enough. I think the moment they have to play somebody, they're going to get popped. It's just a very elite club. And that's what this is going to be one of those years where potentially the 4 number 1 seeds make it, because that power at the top is just too heavy. And I think Kentucky's going to be one of those number 1 seeds. Duke, Virginia, Tennessee. I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan climbed back in there. I think you're going to see 4 number 1 seeds in there, because I think that power at the top is just too heavy. Terry Adams says, what do you think going with Tyler Herro's shot? I mean, is there fatigue? Is there some? I mean, he made some. I think that, or maybe you're talking about that last one. Maybe the NBA talks get into his head. Pull up. I mean, he just pulled up. That's the modern day NBA shot. That's open NBA shot. If you're in the NBA, that's the shot you take. Look, the NBA games are only 8 minutes longer, but it's just so fast-paced that you can have crappy possessions, even late. I watch an NBA game, and they're maybe taking horrible shots a minute and 30 seconds left in the game, tie game. College basketball, you can't do that. Every possession matters. So he goes down there, horrible shot. But the thing is, it's a horrible shot, but are you surprised if he made it? If it would have been wet, as the kids say, if it would have made it, would you have been surprised? No, you wouldn't have, because of Tyler Herro. That's what he does. He loves big shots. Tyler Ice. I don't know. We'll work up a name for him. Sub-Zero. That's what we'll call him. Would you have been surprised? No. Horrible shot. But would you have been surprised? So if somebody on the team was going, you want to talk bad shots, Reed Travis took a bad shot. Air ball. Didn't hit anything but the ground. So I knew he was in trouble. Once they broke the press, they tried to get to keep the ball out of Little Water hands. They gave it to number 4. He kind of got to go, and he had the angle. It's one of those angles where it sucks when you're in basketball. It sucks really when you're in football, too, because you can't do anything. If you get too handsy, you're definitely getting a foul. You let him go. The platoon came to – the cavalry came to send it flying into the rafters, and it just went over and put back. But, man, it feels good and bad at the same time to look at those 3 losses and say, this is what happened. Seton Hall took a ridiculous 5 shots by some guy who may never do that again. Alabama took a guy going 6 for 6 in the first half, and I don't know if he's hit 6 since then. He lost by 2 both times. We lost by 2 on this time. So this time we didn't have we didn't have to convert. And ironically, we were down by 2 both those times. We tried to go jack up a 3. They got to the basket. Maybe that's what happens when you lose by 2. Maybe just go try to get 2. Ryan Gunn. I don't want to mispronounce your name. Ryan here. He is a Duke fan, but I will allow him to live here in peace because he makes a good point. And y'all don't want to face up. So the narrative would say we should face you on the championship because that's how you win the championship is you are a great team and you beat a great team in the national championship. That's how national championships should be made. But that's not how it goes. I would rather face Duke. Honestly, if you told me what made me feel comfortable placing Duke in the tournament, I would say lose a couple more games, go to the 4 seed, play them in the Sweet 16. You'll catch them a little more off guard. National championship, everybody's bringing it. And I hate all those courts. Those courts. Shooting is horrible on those courts in the national championship, Final Four games. First off, perception's way off. If they're playing on a football field, so you're used to going into Rupp, seeing a basketball hoop, and then about 10 feet behind it, seeing people's faces. These Final Fours, you see the basketball hoop, and then you see about 500 feet of nothingness. That's why if you look, shooting percentages in the Final Four since they started going to the Dome, pretty bad. You have to compare it to whatever's going on that season. So, yeah, Nick Richards. Nick Richards is a tough one to evaluate. Because I'm telling you, when he has to be big, he's good. If you go out there and say, hey, Nick, be taller than everybody, he's fine. When you go out there and say, be great, be the best big man on the court, he's not the best big man on the court. Mike, you say no way, like it never happens. It's happened once. You know, so I don't know what is going on with that. Look, I'll be honest with you. I turned the Louisville-Duke game off because it was supposed to be my dessert. This was supposed to be a delicious, nutritious lunch. Kentucky playing a 19 seed, LSU winning by 12, 15. Kind of like we did Mississippi State. Boasting up that resume a little bit, patting that, making it look good. And then I was just going to do the show. I was going to stretch out here on the couch and watch a little Louisville-Duke. Who's I going to root for? I hate Louisville with a passion, but it would probably help us out considering the way we beat Louisville if Louisville happened to beat Duke. And then I would sit there and I would wait. I'd be like, do I want Zion to win? Do I want this guy? Who do I want? Now I don't want no part of it. Because if Duke wins, they're still up at the top of the kingdom and they're laughing down at everyone below them. If Louisville wins, I'll be off social media for about a month. Yeah, Washington has been a beast here lately. I just think you have a lot of talent, and you have to find a way to convert that into baskets. I mean, you have to find a way. Washington can't put up 50 for you. He'll do it once. I don't want to use it now. It's like the get out of jail free card. It's like I don't want to use that now. I want that to be March. I want it to be fresh because these kids are young. These kids aren't used to playing talent like this. It'll happen next year when they go pro. All right, guys. Thanks. I got kind of worked up there because my mind's racing right now. Heartbroken over a loss. Heartbroken. Hate them guys losing. But it's February. We did violate one of my 3 rules that I set for Kentucky every year. Don't lose in March. Oh, February. Don't lose to Louisville. Sure didn't. And don't lose at Rupp. We did. I don't know. Maybe at this point, maybe this kind of game, the environment lent itself to this kind of upset. Me and Mike talked about it on the show Thursday or Sunday, whatever day it was, that the people who got that game are one or two types of people. People who will be there Saturday and people who won't be there Saturday. And the people that will be there Saturday didn't care about this. Let's be honest. You went in there, you got your ticket scanned, you sat down there with your delicious ice cream and your nachos, and you said, wish this was Tennessee. If you're not going to Saturday's game, you did the same thing. You walked in there, you bleeped your ticket, you got some ice cream, you got some nachos, you sat down wherever your tickets were, and you said, sucks I won't be here for Tennessee. And you kept that mindset the whole time. And I'm not bashing anybody. We all did it. I turned on my TV and said, wish this was Tennessee. Everybody, it happened. But we'll build from it. Like I said, it's still on the shelf. We will come back from it. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. It's going to benefit us. It just depends on how long we have to wait to cash that check. How long do I have to wait to take this off the shelf? At earliest, it's going to be, I'll get a little redemption this Saturday. The 2 Saturdays later at Knoxville will be a huge chance for redemption. Maybe you have to wait a little longer. Because I'll be honest with you, we drop Saturday at Tennessee. We drop at Tennessee. Shelf's going to be getting full, and it's going to have to be a big check to cash. But we can do it. We can do it. So, Saturday, Tennessee, it's here. Finally, we're all here. Got an extra loss on the way. Picked up an extra straggler. It's not going to be easy. Everybody's going to have to do their part. Higgins is going to have to play strong deep. And I'm not saying, I say all this, I'm not saying that they haven't. I'm just saying this is what, we're here now. There's no more we want Tennessee. There's no more we're ready for Tennessee. There's no more are we as good as Tennessee, because it's here. We have 3 more losses. And so here we are. It's here Saturday. They are big guys. They're going to, I don't know what it is that happened last year. Williams and Schofield annoy me. Maybe it's because we lost both those games and it was just kind of a nitty gritty blah game. Those guys annoy me. It's like somebody that I see on Louisville. But it's here. We're going to have to find a way to compete with it. We're going to have to fight. We're going to have to keep Richards. I hate to say this because Mike's been saying this, and Mike Buckeister, he does a show with me on Big Blue Breakdown. He's been saying this since A1 Day 1, since his team really started kind of clicking. We like everything we see, but Reed Travis and P.J. Washington pick up fouls. I said, don't worry about it. I said, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Get on somewhere. Because they were smart fouls. They were early fouls. They were like, hey, let's see if I can get away with this. They're like a kid. Anybody who's got young toddlers, young kids, they just want to see what they can get away with. That's what that's the excuse I always made for Reed Travis and P.J. Washington. Early in that first, yes, they pick up 3 fouls in the first half because they want to see what they can get away with. They want to see if they can poke. They want to see if they can reach up underneath. They want to see if they can block with a little bit of an angle, not go straight up and down. They wanted to see what they can get away with. You got to stop, though. And sometimes it's hard to turn off. If PJ and Reed get into foul trouble, Tennessee is going to be a rough game. I forgot until I was actually listening to KSR. That was the big turnaround factor against. We had a double-digit lead at Tennessee last year with a much worse team. Well, not saying much worse, but a pretty Kentucky team was worse. PJ went out with leg cramps or cramps of some sort. Turned around, lost the game. So we're going to need those guys. We're going to need Hero to hit some shots. We're just going to need some smart plays. We're getting to that point, though. And this is also the point where you start putting what's the Bible scripture? When you became a man, you put childhood things away. When you become a tournament team, you put early season pesky things away. You put some of the things that was cute and adorable 2 months ago. It's time to put them away. I've been saying all season, I like when Baker's on the court. Because he hasn't been a liability. If he hits a three, Hey, great stuff. Because Baker's our 9th best player. You put your best, you go to a team and say, my 9th best player, I can put him in with 2 minutes left in the half. He can go out there, probably get me an easy three-pointer, hit free throws if he gets fouled, and he carries 6 fouls for me. I love that. Same's been said with E.J. Montgomery. E.J. Montgomery has been just I call him Ghost. He just glides like a ghost, an old reaper. It's earlier in the season, I said, hey, whatever he gives you, he gives you. He's the 8th best guy. Whatever happens, happens. And we're to the point now where you don't have that 2 minutes to waste. So if Baker's not hitting 3-pointers, he can't just be a neutral. If he's hitting if he comes out there in 5 minutes, hits 3-pointers, but does nothing on defense, that's fine. Because it kind of cancels it out. But if you're not hitting 3-pointers and you're not making impacts on the defense, even if you're not a liability, It's like credit. You're not bad credit, but if you're still no credit, I don't know how many of you. Because all four, as we start getting down this stretch, we hit this buzzsaw. We've talked about it all show. As we hit this buzzsaw, every minute matters. Every 40 minutes matter. Half second killed us. Half second, no box out, no paying attention to anybody but the guy that had the ball, killed us. And I could go through every minute and say, hey, this is what kills us. Every minute. You don't have to play a perfect game. There's not going to be no such thing as a perfect game. The closest thing you saw to a perfect game this season was the whooping Duke put on us at the beginning, and even they will never do that again. It just will not happen again. Especially as March comes, dead legs happening, everybody, the gap starting to close in between players and teams. But every minute matters. So if you're out there, whether you play 1 minute or 38 minutes, you got to make something happen. Let's see here. Terry Adams says, so far you would have dessert. Louisville is winning. But I can't eat it. I can't enjoy it. Like it's like I got food poisoning from my lunch. I said that earlier. If you weren't listening, I basically said that the LSU game was my lunch and this Louisville game was going to be dessert. I can't enjoy it. My team lost. Kentucky lost, so I don't want to hear either one of those win it. And I hate that because I'm a fan of basketball too. Actually, there's been two really enjoyable. Actually, there's only been one true enjoyable. Because I was going to say 2013 was kind of enjoyable of a tournament run because you could watch every game without any true investment. But Louisville ended up winning it, and it made everything be horrible. So, Tennessee, Saturday. Tennessee mattered. That game was heavy before. It is really heavy now. We have to win that game. I say that as a lighthearted statement because if we don't win, we can still do great things. I mean, not necessary. The last time we won the title, we didn't win the SEC tournament. I mean, since 2000, that little 3-year span of winning the NCAA tournament, going to the NIT, and then making it to the championship game, since that, we've won the NCAA tournament or the SEC tournament every year and really come home empty-handed after that. So, but I feel like to prove to ourselves, to prove to everyone necessary, something's happening. Phone's going off here. The Matt phone. To prove to everyone necessary, we got to get that win. Here and Knoxville now. So, I don't know. I mean, so, John, you said lots of upsets are going on tonight. I haven't looked. It was Kentucky Day. I woke up this morning, put on a Kentucky shirt. I've made like 5 predictions in my head. I gave myself worst case scenario, best case scenario, and everywhere in between. And ironically, the worst case scenario that I came up with was us scrapping and winning by 2. I didn't even fathom a loss. So I haven't got to see. It's going to help if other people lose. I just hate that one of those that are going to benefit from this is Louisville. Because if Louisville beats Duke with our loss, I don't know where they'll end up. I don't think they're jumping us with 7 wins, but I guarantee they end up in the top 10. So, like I said, no Scott Van Pelt for me. You know, that is one bad thing, good thing about ESPN, though. Until March, I'll be able to watch everything I watch on ESPN tomorrow, and they don't really talk college basketball. Unless it's Zion Williams jumping from one state to another to block a shot. So what's your thoughts? Me and Mike play a game every show. So maybe they will. Me and Mike play a game every Big Blue Breakdown show that we do, where at the end of each week, which is particularly one game, we take the temperature of the season. We look at the schedule remaining, and we say, I see this loss. Me and Mike had finally got on the same page. We said one loss was coming at Tennessee. One loss hit us. How many more losses in our future? Where's the next track? Do you think this sparks it? And what's with us? Oh, hold on. So let me do some math. Because I may want to lose again. I'm very superstitious about these things. Because things are coming in sets of 10. All I heard at Alabama was Kentucky has beat Alabama 10 straight times. All I heard. You know how many times tonight I heard that Kentucky has won 10 straight games? Too many. Stopped. So let me count backwards. You need 6 to win the tournament. You need 9 to win the SEC tournament. Means we lose to Florida at the last. Not okay with that. I don't know. I still love this team. I think this is going to be, I've said it every show and I'll say it again. This is one of those teams that if you love them now, it's going to pay dividends. But if you don't, if you're still complaining, if you still say, I hate Nick Richards, if you still think PJ is going to be a bust, if you still think Tyler Hero is overrated, if you are one of those few people who still have this mindset, you're going to look back in 3 or 4 years and say, man, that team was good. I use this example all the time. 2017 felt like a sloppy year. We were so broken off what happened in 15. 16 was really a letdown. And so when 17 came, we lost to UCLA. I think we lost 2 straight conference games. It was rough. We got into March. We started playing really good. Fox started playing out of his mind. Monk was putting up crazy numbers. We lost to Louisville that year, too. Don't forget that one. And we lost to North Carolina on a buzzer beater, and you're just like, how could you do that? You're so mad. You thought you were going to lose to North Carolina to begin with. Malik Monk hit big time 3, ties it, and then almost in tonight's fashion, Luke May comes down and hits the game-winning shot. And you're sitting there, and you're just like, well, here it is again. You're thinking this is nothing special. And then the tournament wins on. North Carolina wins with ease. You see Fox and Bam crying in the locker room. You turn on TV. You can't watch a Kings game. I think Bam shocked us all by getting drafted in the lottery. You can't turn on the TV without seeing Monk hitting crazy shots. Fox is leading the Kings. And you just sit back and you say, darn, that team was good. And man, I kind of miss that team. You miss how Monk could put up he could hit anything. He was almost like Hero, but with a little bit more athleticism. He could hit anything. Fox was from one inbounds to the other before the announcer could say Darren Fox. De'Aaron Fox, however you want to pronounce it. And then you just sit back here and you say, if it wasn't for that shot, if it wasn't for, you can blame that ref that everybody gave a hard time, but you got to take what you can take. As a team, you got to admit where your flaws are as a team. You take what you can take. If it was just one or two other things, we're national champions that year. Because I think once we get to the Final Four, we're by far the best team. We were the second best team in the country by the time. We weren't awarded that, but because our record was a work of art, not just a one insight into what you had, but we were the second best team behind North Carolina. And like I said, the NCAA committee loves us because that was a national championship game, and you got it before the national championship. We should have won that. Don't let this team be the team you didn't get on the train for. Because if you look at the success we've had, so I look at every year. 2010, we gave all kinds of credit. 2010 had John Wall, everybody flying around. You fell in love with that team, and you were like, we were back. Because everything was better than what Gillespie gave us. 2011, that team wasn't as good as 2010, so you didn't enjoy it. 2012, you loved it from the entire time, and so much so that you forgot we struggled. We struggled early in the season in 12. We struggled in some conference games. We lost to Indiana. Don't forget that. That they still hanging banners up in Bloomington off that one. We lost the SEC tournament, but all was forgiven. We brought home the title. Everybody hated 13. Everybody hated 14 until 14 was cool until March because you thought it was an over-publicized 2013 team. 15 we all loved together. This kind of 15 realized what's happening. We're 38-0, and we couldn't get it done. So there's been kind of a feeling around. 16 was a letdown. 16 was the earliest loss in Cal's history, Cal's history at Kentucky outside of the NIT year. 17, yeah, it was like 16. 18 was kind of a thing. But I'm telling you, don't look at it like that. You can look at 15, everything as it was before that. 16 was a bad year. 17, we were the second best team in the country by 2 points on a badly defended shot. Were we the best team in the country? Perhaps. 2018, I'm telling people all the time, and only history will tell you this. 2018 was the year Cal hit the reset button. Cal said, I'm not going to beg and push out the door what I have now for these kids. Everybody's upset. Everybody's upset we didn't get Anthony Edwards. I don't think Cal was recruiting him as hard as he used to. 2012 Cal would have been at Anthony Edwards' house every day for the past 3 months. 2014 Cal would have been on the phone with NBA reps saying, how can I make room in my backcourt for this kid? 2018, 2019 Cal says, well, let's see. So last year he brings in some pieces. He brings in some works of some flip house, some houses that you have to flip. I'm drawing a blank on what they're called. You bring in some projects. You ever got to bring a little project? Jared Vanderbilt, he's undersized. What can we make happen? This year, don't be surprised, win, lose, or draw, Tyler Hero comes back. E.J. Montgomery comes back. Nick Richards come back. Give me a sophomore Tyler Hero. Give me a sophomore Quickly over any other freshman in the country. Because the times are changing. Things are changing. One and done will be gone soon, and Cal's already going to have a way in. Because, look, everybody can be on this Coach K bandwagon because Cal's already set that trend. Cal got hated. Everybody made fun of him on ESPN when he started 5 freshmen. Now K's down there doing it. K's still going to be behind because what's going to happen in 2020 when the NBA says, all right, everyone can come in, 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, overseas, you can come in. Cal's ready. Cal's got his 4 or 5-star guys that aren't going to go pro that year anyway. Come on in. Coach K's got to hit that reset button. Kansas has to hit that reset button. So, yes, it's very frustrating. I see everybody's frustration. Last year, last year has to be one of the best rebuilding jobs I've seen from a college program, minus whatever Villanova might be doing this year. Verdict's still out on that one. Villanova went on a great 3-year run, started horrible, lost to Furman, got busted by Michigan. Now they're back. A lot of people expect them to be a top 4 seed in the tournament. Everybody says, well, everybody wants to say, why isn't Cal recruiting sophomores? Why isn't Cal getting these sophomore juniors? Last year was that year. Last year's that's how you got to rebuild at Kentucky. So it's paying dividends. We got a P.J. Washington who I think is going to work his way into a lottery pick. We got a sophomore Nick Richards, which hold on to your investments. It's not time to sell that stock yet. Junior Nick Richards is going to be where it's at. I'm feeling it. I'm just telling it. All that comes from then. This year, well, we lost the Wiseman kid. Well, that is what that is. The kids. Then you got the kid that picked Washington over us. You got the kid that picked Georgia over us. You got the kid that's probably going to pick, I don't know, Tennessee Chattanooga over us. And you're saying Cal's losing it. Or maybe Cal's just not courting as hard as he once did. Because here's the thing. I'm not saying Cal didn't recruit Anthony Edwards, but I'm telling you, if Anthony Edwards looked at that kid, if Cal looked at Anthony Edwards and said, you can come here, but I've got Quickly probably. Hero's probably coming back. I'm going to have a junior Baker. Let's see what that's going to look like. I already have Maxey coming in, who I imagine Maxey's bought into his role. He's going to have to play. So you tell all that to Anthony Edwards because Cal doesn't BS with these kids. He tells you what your role is. You're going to have to come in, you're going to have to fight. You may not even start. And if you struggle, you may not have fine playing time if Hero comes back. Could you imagine if Hero comes back, Edwards would have came here, Edwards would have hit that freshman wall that they often hit, he might have played 6-7 minutes a game. For a guy that's considered #1 player in the country, top 3 pick in next year's draft, bet he didn't like that. Fine with me, because I will take a sophomore Hero. And me and Mike had this conversation. NBA, everybody sees it with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis wants to go win. So these small programs, these small market NBA teams that are going to have to try to draft this Anthony Edwards, they like the fact that he chose himself over a better team. Because that means when he's drafted by the worst team in the league, in 5 years, he might stay with us instead of go join the Lakers. But let us look at the big picture. And I could be way wrong. And for those that have repeat listeners and you're like, Matt, you say this every week, I do, but it's something I feel so passionate about that I hope new listeners listen, and then they take it and they go tell their friends like it was their idea. Because I'm telling you, I think there's a lot of truth to these things. I think Cal is willing and ready to turn this and get away from the one and done. If you look at pictures of Cal when he first came here and how he looks now, you think the presidents look bad when they leave 4 years in office, 8 years in office? Look at Cal 10 years at Kentucky. The man's aged 20 years. Stressful job. Cal's got the kids he's wanting. His team's got it. Let's see, Duke. Yeah, I mean, teenagers, sorry guys, I'm looking here. Hey, if you want to interact, I'm trying to find a way to bring people on so I can have you like a little video down here and chat with you. Until then, I'm just going to read what you're typing. Terry Adams says, believe I'm a true blue fan, so I'm so upset, but we're going to make it up by beating Tennessee. I've said it. I'll take this off the shelf. I will scrap this off the bad loft shelf that I have up here if we beat Tennessee on the road. Mike says a taco, a sandwich. I don't care because Kentucky lost. I don't want to think anything else but that. But yeah, I think, oh man, so I'm so upset. I'm not gonna hide from being bummed out about a loss of that nature. But those losses sting because at no point was I able to start working on making peace with my loss. That Duke game, I made peace with my loss. I was able to say, oh, we lost this, and let me start thinking how this is going to work. Seton Hall, I made peace with my loss until Keldon Johnson heaved a half-court shot, and I was like, hey, we may win. Even Alabama, I made peace with my loss. We were down 11 with 2 minutes left. You make peace with your loss. You're like, hey, we let this one go. At no time during that game could I ever make peace with it. You could say down, 4 with 2 minutes left, but I've seen this team do better. I've seen this team, and we did. We raced it. We were tied. It's one of those ones. It's going to sting for a little bit. I'm going to put this up there with the regular season first-degree burns, second-degree burns. What do you say? Where you put the Christian Watford shot from Indiana, where you put the Arkansas put-back dunk. I'll be all right. But we got to beat Tennessee. We beat Tennessee at Tennessee. All this is okay. We win the SEC. We get that 1 seed. We'll be okay. Ricky Roberts says, I love this. Well, we love that you love this. And I'm telling you, what I want this to be for new people listening or old people, I want you guys to be able to come and chat down here. I want the little window down here, and I want to see Ricky Roberts and Gabe, which Gabe's not been very interactive, so he might be mad we couldn't get him on. I wish we could. If anyone knows how to bring someone into a live feed from a laptop, let me know, because I don't know. Because that's what I want. I want to say, hey, this is my thoughts. What are your thoughts? And then we just talk back and forth, because you guys do this. This is Ricky Roberts and Terry Adams and Gabe and all you guys that are interacting today. You're going to go to work tomorrow, and you're going to have this conversation, and you're going to be upset. And if they're not a true Kentucky fan, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? I don't care. It's the sports. The worst thing I ever hate here, now you got me on another rant, is, oh, there's so much things going on in the world, and you're worried about a loss. Yes, I am. Because I am able. Look, I know people are dying and people are sick and life is happening out in that world, and it sucks. But I'm able to put things in a box. I'm able to say, hey, this is my box, and this is my love. This is my little fake cubic zirconium ring that's my Kentucky team, and I can be upset. And let's be real, all of us who are upset, you can't enjoy holding up that title 96, 98, 2012, however maybe you're old enough to remember 78 and before that. You can't feel the joy. You can't run in your street crying and screaming and yelling and hugging the first string. You can't have all that joy without feeling this. And this is just a regular season conference loss. Who cares? But you can't have that without this. You can't be the type of person, because if you're the type of person who turned that game off today and you're like, well, just one loss don't mean nothing. What's for dinner? If you're that type of person, when we finally do hold the title, yeah, you'll be happy. You'll post a little status, hey, yay, Big Blue Nation. But you're not going to truly be the joy. And you can't describe it because everybody's like, oh, yeah, I'm a great fan. Are you, though? And I'm not saying I'm the greatest. No, there's millions of great fans, but there's also millions of average fans. Nothing wrong with it. And there's millions of bandwagon fans. You'll see them when we host the title. But I'm speaking to the hundreds and the dozens and the thousands and the 2 people who understand this, who that rambling I just did for 20 seconds are like, boom, got it. He gets it. When I'm crying after a win and my kids, my wife, my husband, my parents look at me like, oh, what are you doing? They're going to be the same ones who are going to look at you when you're out there screaming. My mom is, when we win a title, when we win a good game, she'll text me, hey, great win. But she doesn't get it. 2014 or 2011 when we lost to UConn, and I was just beside myself because I thought that was the title game. You go on to play a bad Butler team, and not a bad Butler team, but a Butler team that was the worst, most inferior competition you would have faced. When you go do that, that's your title. That's the Kentucky Invitational now. When I lost that, and remember that's before 12, so we were still going on this drought. When we lost that game, I was devastated. And it's a different devastation. So, like I said, I don't want this to be misconstrued. This isn't like, oh, someone you love just died. This is a different devastation, but it's a devastation that only so many people can understand. And that's why I like interacting with you guys. That's why I love when you comment. That's why I want to bring you on, because I want to see that same devastation. I want to see that same frustration. I hate when somebody's like, oh, did you lose your sports ball game? Shut up. Yes, we did. Absolutely. So, yes, Rick, and that's what, because Ricky Roberts, if you didn't read, because sometimes these Facebook comments come in different orders, it said this helped them through the loss. And I'm sorry, I want to do a disclaimer. If I mispronounce a name, if I misassume who you are, it's because I don't get a picture. I just get a name and I get what you said. But that's what it is. Because I thought about canceling on this. I thought about just saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to sit down. This show, I'm not doing the show. It might be 2 minutes. Might be 3 minutes. I'm almost an hour in. And I do feel better. Because, and I'm glad you do too, because, yeah, you have other avenues, but can you get through to Matt Jones? There's going to be so many people. Do you want to turn on SportsCenter? Do you want to watch probably the 2 most teams that you hate the most? If you are watching Duke and Louisville play right now, isn't there a part of you that just wishes that whole stadium would just fall? That just the FBI would just bust in and arrest both those teams and the game would never end? Isn't there just a part of you that just wishes, because you don't want an outcome, especially you don't want one of those 2 teams to experience a win on the same night you experience a loss? I can't watch SEC now. I can't watch SportsCenter. I love Scott Van Pelt, but I can't watch that because he's going to recap the game and he's going to talk and he's probably going to have Cal in there. I can't even watch Cal's live feed because they do what Cal does. Players are going to do what players do. They're going to do the politically correct thing. It's not really a good avenue to vent because Cal's not going to say what you want him to say. And what Cal does say, he should say because he's the coach, but it's not really going to make you feel better. He's going to tell you things you already know. We got to box out. Guess what? We know. We saw it. Mike said he feels a big win coming. Hayden. He wants me to shout out Hayden724 on YouTube. Hey, go check it. Go check him out. But I don't know what it is. Maybe he tells me, but I don't know what. If it's something cool, check him out. If it's not, you didn't hear from me. I don't know what it might be. If it's something weird, I don't know. Like if he's on there kicking animals, you didn't hear that from me. But if he talks sports, if he talks video games, if he talks movies, music, things he loves, check him out because really, I don't do this because I want to get paid. I don't want to go to ESPN. I don't want to work that crazy work schedule. I'm a big fan of Matt Jones and all those guys, and they have to fly everywhere. You hear Ryan Lemon complain about how he spends time away from his family. I don't want that. I just want a venue for me to talk Kentucky. So I'm always going to support anyone who wants to share that dream. So if Hayden Conrad at Hayden HDYN724 says check out my page, go check out his channel or his YouTube channel. But if he's doing something illegal or weird, you didn't hear it from me. But if he's doing something cool and you can get behind it, support him. All right, what else we got here? Who else? All right. So Tyler Phillips says he hopes the LSU bus breaks down. Man, I don't know. We had to go to LSU in a snowstorm, and we lost, and I was worried about our guys. But and let's be petty for a minute. Let's just say the LSU bus does break down. First off, I doubt they're riding a bus. They're probably flying a plane. First off, let's pretend they are driving a bus all the way to Baton Rouge. That thing's nice. That thing's better than this chair I've been sitting on. That thing's probably reclined. There's probably TV. There's probably Wi-Fi in there. They're going to be Snapchatting whoever they Snapchat. They're probably trying to line up some dates for the weekend. Would that be the worst thing? So yeah, I hope their bus breaks down too, because I feel like that's inconvenient, but it's not bad, because they're not going to have to change a tire. They're a Division I college program. They're just going to sit there and tweet out stuff. #this. So I get behind that. I'm going to get behind their bus breaking down, because I don't think that would hurt anybody's feeling. Okay, Major League reference. Look, Mike, we might have people in here that are too young to get the Major League reference, because I'm 30 and I barely remember the movie. Bus to the airport. Tyler, John, you wrote a long message there. I do want to get to it. Tyler said the bus to the airport. Is there anything – now, basketball games aren't bad, but if you've been to Lexington or you live in Lexington, is there anything worse than trying to get anywhere downtown Lexington after any kind of a sporting event? So, yeah, there you go, Tyler. I'm with that. Bus to the airport, because it's probably a bad bus. It's probably a very uncomfortable bus, got some plastic seats. And then it hits a pothole. Yes. So I'm getting hoarse, trying to drink it's water now, so I need a cold one eventually, probably here in about 20 minutes. So, yeah. John says, we played good tonight. I still think that what hurt us the most is foul trouble. It was a dogfight out there tonight, and it was anybody's game at the end. Too bad it wasn't ours. Yeah. So, it was a good game. I just felt like, almost like the message of the show has been with other teams, you didn't enjoy when it was good. Because we went into that game, we turned on, however you watched this game, listened to this game, or whatever you did, you turned it on when you just thought we were going to win. It was just a guaranteed win. You knew this. So you didn't enjoy when we were dominating, when we were up 8, when we were up 5, when we were hitting big shots. You didn't enjoy it because you're like, this is whatever. So, yeah, you don't. We did play good, but you're not going to enjoy that. The foul part, I am worried, because when you don't go to guys like Nick Richards and E.J. Montgomery enough, and then late in the game are Reed Travis and PJ's in foul trouble, they're coming in rusty and unproven. That's why I really love what EJ's done over the last couple of weeks, because I think he can give us valuable minutes. You even saw him, because of his ability to jump and his length, he was in there instead of Reed. So maybe he's the one that was – I don't know the jobs. I don't know the role of these guys when they were put into play. So maybe his role was to be the box out guy, and maybe he didn't, and maybe Reed Travis would have. I don't know. But I think we learned from it. Ricky says, I'm 16, but why, when number 3 had Hagen's number, why didn't Cal leave quickly in? Yeah, see, first off, this is crazy. This is how I know I'm getting old. Ricky doesn't probably remember much before Cal. Has Cal been here that long? Obviously, there's YouTube and there's everything. But they don't, 16 and 17-year-old kids don't remember Cal. And that's why when Kentucky fans are like, oh, these kids should come here for the history of our program, they don't remember that program. Kids coming out of high school, senior kids Ricky's age, doesn't remember Rick Pitino, doesn't remember the comeback cats, doesn't remember Tubby, doesn't remember 98, doesn't remember the Patrick Sparks toe on the line 2005. If they do, it's because of YouTube. Cal's been here that long, and I'm getting old. Mike's in here wanting White Castle. So, guys, John said he was watching quietly. This is something I always want to share. When I go out, So when I'm out at a sports bar, even when I'm at the game, which I've gotten better at the game, I can clap and I can get excited. And now that for the last decade of my own home, it's still a struggle. I grew up with a typical house. And sometimes bedtime was 10, Kentucky game was still going, I'm up. You couldn't be loud. You couldn't be loud. You couldn't be absurd. So I got the clap. This is my indoor clap. Look, you get to hit as hard as you want, and it's quiet. So try that. You got kids asleep, wives asleep in the bed next to you, trying to root for any team. You really want to show emotion. You don't want to move too much because you don't want to disturb anybody. Try the indoor clap. It's great. I still do it to this day. I've lived on for 10, 12 years. Still to this day, by myself, 4 o'clock in the evening, still be doing that. So if you're in the library, why would you watch nothing against you. Nothing against anybody. Why would you watch Kentucky in the library? Go somewhere. But hey, if you had to, that's a real fan. Watching it wherever you can, however you can. Look, another event, before I can even get to that, who schedules weddings in March? My brother and sister-in-law did that. Why do you schedule a wedding in March? Because I'm watching the game, and I will cheer accordingly. So when you schedule, if you know anybody that's scheduling a wedding and they tell you March, ask them why. And first off, don't let it be on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's all I'm saying. And if it is on a Saturday, it better be on the other region Saturday. Tyler says, I honestly think we got soft after the first half. Yeah. That's why when everybody texted them, everybody was complaining, we're coming out here acting a dud, laying a dud, getting down 10-12-0. Me and Mike talk about this all the time. I will take that. I will take being down 10 at half and playing just like in the first half, because if you're going to have momentum, let it be in the second half, because you can't be stopped then. Maybe you can, but for the most part, if you come out hot and you score up 40 points in the first 50 points in the first half, and then you go out there and lay a dud and you find yourself tied with 30 seconds to go, it's hard to turn it back on. So if we're going to play a bad game, let it be in the first half. Emmanuel and EJ were playing one of their best games. Yes, and we're going to need that. But I need them to do it a little bit. I don't know how you can I'm sorry. I don't know how you can have your cake and eat it both, because I'm investing in Quickly, EJ, Nick Richards. So when they struggle, when they come out, they play goofy. When they play 6 minutes, I'm like, that's okay, because they'll be back next year, and next year my dividends will return. So I don't want them to play too good, because I need them back next year. But yes, they played really good. Quickly, I like his ability to score. I think next year, no matter who comes back, we start to see him, if he comes back, transition to the 2 guard, just because I think he really plays. He can handle the ball in pressure situations, but he plays pretty good off the ball. Tyler says, I have a Patrick Sparks jersey. Those are the greatest. 96 to those 08, 75-year SEC anniversary jerseys were the greatest. I mean, I'm not knocking the John Wall with the water print mesh, or I even really like the gray ones that Anthony Davis wore. 2014, we wore some chrome. It was kind of cool. We lost to Baylor, though, which didn't happen. But, man, when Nike says, hey, you're wearing throwbacks, I don't like that they're like 1950 throwbacks. Wear those 96. Wear those Patrick Sparks. Those were the good ones. Which, even if we would have beat Michigan State, I don't think we won the title in 05. There was just too many. It was just, I mean, that in 2005 North Carolina team was one of the best. I don't know what we're talking about. I think I missed something. April being the worst. Maybe I said something. Oh, for a wedding? Is that what you're talking about? You put everything in April, because there's nothing going on. NFL's over. If you don't get married in April, get married in like early August. Because like there's nothing in late April. After the first week, NCAA tournaments wrapped up. The playoffs, unless you're a diehard NBA guy, the playoffs are what they are. NFL's done. Do you care about the draft? Maybe. If they are getting married on draft, you can watch that without the phone. Like, I could dig that. I could have it up there because I get my alerts. I don't need to listen to Mel Kiper be wrong. Except this year, Josh Allen, number 1. You heard it here first. I don't know. See, now I'm rambling in a different direction. But now this Kyler Murray kid came out. I think Arizona really likes him. We'll see. Terry Adams says, do you remember when we were down 30 at LSU? Yes and no. I've seen it, but I didn't watch it. Well, I didn't watch it live. I have in my closet here a whole bunch of VHS tapes, and I watch them. All right, championship game. That's early, and that's on a Monday. People don't want to get married on a Monday. I got beef if you're getting married on the Final Four Saturday. Opening day of MLB. Get out of here with that. There's 162 stinking games. You think I care about the first one? In spring football, you better be talking about the AAF championship, because I don't care about spring football, because spring football is what college football was, but boring. Last year, did we lose 4 in a row? I thought it was 3. I know it was at least 3. If you can't see, John said, remember last year when we lost 4 in a row in SEC play? It was during February. But was it? That team, man, I feel like last year wasn't a championship team, but I felt we were a Final Four team. I felt we were better than Kansas State. Sorry, Mike. And we were much better. We could definitely beat Loyola Chicago. I don't think Cal gets caught tripping that. Could we beat Michigan? Were we beating NC or Villanova? Definitely not. I mean, that's one of the best teams was the best team in the country. So, but yeah, I would always definitely take a Final Four banner. I think that the NCAA, Final Four the NCAA basketball lends itself to being able to have college. I've been talking too much. I'm losing my words. Having consolation prizes. If you go to the Final Four and you're a bad team, that's great. Yeah. So I'm not worried when March gets here. I'm fine, because Cal has come back from much more in the month of March. 2011, we lost. It seemed like we lost every road game by 2. Alabama, at Auburn, pretty much at, I don't think it was at Auburn, but it was pretty much at Vandy, at Florida. We lost every game by 2, Georgia by 7, and we found ourselves in the Final Four. 2014, we were laying duds everywhere. We couldn't get out of our own way. We make it to the championship game and ironically lost to the worst team that we faced. So I'm not worried. It's just this ride is a lot smoother if we win more. These conversations go a lot better if I can – look, I just like being right. I don't care what anybody else says. When we had 10 losses in 2014, and I said, hey, this still has the making of a Final Four team, and everybody laughed and said they won't get out of the second round, I couldn't have discussion with that. So this ride is a lot more fun and goes a lot smoother if we can get wins. I still think because what we saw, there wasn't anything we can do. There wasn't anything we could do tonight, and there's really not anything we can do Saturday that is going to change my mind. This is a national championship team. If we go out there and we win, if we would have went out there and lost by 40 tonight, we're still a national championship team. If we would have won by 60, we're still a national championship team. It just sucks that we lost. Ricky Roberts says the Marcus Cousins game winner against Mississippi State was awesome. Yeah, it was. I felt, looking back, hindsight being what it is, I felt that was the slippery slope that told me what was coming in the Elite Eight. We dominated so much. We were driving 150 down the interstate against Tennessee and against Alabama that when we hit a brick wall against Mississippi State, we almost couldn't figure it out. We did. But then the same thing happened when March rolled around. We beat the likes of, who did we play? East Tennessee State, Cornell, Wake Forest. And then when we played a pesky West Virginia team, we couldn't figure it out. We couldn't get out of our own way. Anybody have the score of the Duke game? Is Duke at least winning? Because I don't want Louisville to win. Like I said, I'd rather that building just close down. I'd rather the feds just come in and shut the game down, but I don't want Louisville winning. Which reminds me, this Duke team reminds me a lot of that 2010 team. And don't crucify me. Don't come at me saying, how dare you compare the two, because it is. You have a dominant big man who's ready for the NBA. You have a guy who can score any way he wants, R.J. Barrett / John Wall. You have a older big man in the Marcus Bolden kid. You have a questionable guard, a decent guard who can give you what? No, Ricky, are you 56-36 Louisville? What? Oh my! Don't let that be a thing. That is a 50-point swing from them beating us. Did you mean 56-56? Please let that be a typo. I know you type on your probably on an iPhone, maybe hit the wrong button, maybe hit that little decimal. Oh, come on. That place is nuts. They will riot in the streets. I live in Louisville. They will riot in the streets. I will not be able to. Oh, my Lord. 56-36. I will not. You know how when snow comes, people go out and they buy their milk and their bread? That's what you got to do with what's happening right now. 56. If they beat Duke by 30, after Duke beating us by 30, after this team being a D-League team or a small market NBA team, oh my. I am definitely watching nothing but Netflix. I do not want who's IU up on 20? Which I'm fine with that. I use that little brother. Like, you want them to be successful because they've just gone through so much. Oh, man. I don't even know. Yeah, I'm with Ricky on this one. Say goodnight on this one. I'm probably going to wind it up on that one because, how much time's left? Can anybody give me the time before we go? No, John, I don't know. This game, if this Duke team loses by 20, after looking dominant, they looked really good against Virginia team twice. Obviously, what they did against us, man, that might, other than maybe us losing unless this happens in March or Louisville beating us in March, us losing to LSU and them dominating Louisville in the same night, man, I might not even be on social media. I'm not even going to Facebook. I am not trying to hear how, since Team A beat Team B, because look, that's the only thing that is going to help me sleep at all, is that we demolished them at their place. But, Mike, how's that a bright side? It's Tuesday. Who has ever said those words? This is going to be my closing thought because I can't even think right now. Who's ever said, hey, great news, guys, it's Tuesday? Did those words even get said? How do I have new comments, but there's clearly no new comments? It's just like one comment down there. 9 minutes to go. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what my evening's going to be consistent of. Because all I'm going to hear is how, we're so horrible. Man. Way to go, Duke. But I will finish on the bright side because that's what I try to do. I try to find the gold in the pile of you-know-what. What is this? Because I don't know what Duke's schedule looks like, but I don't think they've played North Carolina at all. I'll give you that, Mike. A Tuesday loss is better than Saturday loss. I don't think they've played North Carolina yet. Are we starting to see some blueprints on how to beat them? Because I don't know what's going on with Louisville. Actually, all I want, because I feel like at this point, either two types of people watching, the 6 people still viewing. I feel like we're pretty close because I feel like we're interacting. We're good peeps. We're friends. I can deal with this. Or you'll listen to it later when we turn this into a podcast, and then I don't care what you think because I don't have to deal with that at that point. All I want is the Louisville death penalty. Is that so bad? Is it bad that I want them to shut that program down? And then if they're not going to give them the death penalty, I don't want Chris Mack to get them back this quick. They were done. They were done for. Louisville was done. They were the laughingstock of the NCAA. They got caught with prostitutes and bad ones at that. Like, bad. They were done. They had to get rid of almighty Rick Pitino. They went out and they got some overachieving guy from Xavier, or underachieving, whatever you want to call it. And is it bad that I just want them to suffer more because I don't like them. Death penalty, and I'm talking like bad death penalty. Here's what I want. Like, are you listening, NCAA? Because this is what I want. 2000, because they already said they're not coming out until after this season. So what are we, 2019 or 2019? 2019 and 2020, I want death penalty. Done. Nothing. Over. Wrap. Cancel it. 2019, 2020, 2021, let them come back. Zero scholarships. Zero scholarships. Zero postseason play. Don't even let them be on TV. I don't even want to see them. Which their games, aside from when they're playing Duke, their games are hard enough to find. Zero games. 2020, 2021. 2021, 2022, let them go back on TV. Still no postseason. 6 scholarships. Was it 3 years? So basically 1 year death penalty, 3-year postseason ban. Is that made me a horrible person? That's all I want. That's all I want. Just set Louisville back to the Stone Age. Because this is what's going to happen. Because let me tell you, you do that, Mac's gone. Because Mac's not going to sit around and do nothing for a year. Does that make me a bad person? Does it make me a good Kentucky fan? Because I'll take being a bad person if it cancels out by being a good Kentucky fan. But all I want is Louisville to get the death penalty. And then before anybody who hears this says, but Matt, there was that Yahoo report that has Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky, even Bam Adebayo had a dinner with somebody he should have had dinner with. Aren't you worried? Nah. Because I can tell you what's not going to happen. What's not going to happen, hey, the giant scholarships to prostitutes, maybe they'll learn something, not to steal toothbrush. But what's not going to happen is the NCAA laying the hammer down on their best production makers. We all have jobs. Think of it like this. We all have jobs. No matter what you do, when you go to work, think of Ricky may not, 16-year-old, I don't know, where do you work? But we all have jobs. You go to work, and you know that person. If you admit it, take away all the kiss ups and the suck ups, there's that person that really works hard. That person's not going to get fired. If you're the best worker, and I learned something a long time ago. If you get in trouble for doing something at a job that's not illegal, you just get in trouble for doing something. Spoiler alert, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I'll take it myself. You're not that important then. Because the most important person at a company can get away with anything. LeBron James could do anything he wants, still going to have a spot on that roster. Because when you're good enough at your job, you can break any rule you want. That's just facts. Now, within the scope, you can't do anything illegal, you'll go to jail. No one's bigger than the law, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. The same thing happens in the NCAA. When you're Duke, Kentucky, North Carolina, one of those teams can miss a tournament. You will not see a March Madness with no Duke, no North Carolina, no Kansas, no Kentucky, no whoever else. Arizona. You will not see that March Madness. Because that means your Final Four is looking at NC State, Texas. That's not going to sell tickets. So one or two things is going to happen. Either they're going to just sweep it all under the rug, which is what it is, or they're going to sweep it all under the rug. But since they have already caught Louisville, make an example of it. That's what I'm hoping for. That you sweep all these Yahoo reports that they don't want coming out under the rug, and then you bring the hammer down on Louisville. Now I'm talking death penalty, 3-year probation, 3-year postseason ban. Man, that'd be great. And on the same year we won the title. What if that happens like the week after we won the title? April might be the best month ever, if that happens, especially in sports. Man, I think we should go out, hour and 23 minutes in. Thank you for everybody who joined in. Hope you check it out. Mike can put it on there where all we're at. Let's just think about that for a second. April 7th, we win the national title. Number 9, distancing ourselves from North Carolina, distancing ourselves from Duke, distancing ourselves from Indiana, squeaking in there, inching ever so close to UCLA, and then a week later, Louisville gets the death penalty. Man, that might be a tattoo. I would get that. I would get like an RIP Louisville's program. Man, that would be a great week. All right, guys, like I said, Thank you for everybody tuning in. I could probably ramble on more, but really don't have anything. And I'm getting tired. And I'm still bummed because I imagine Louisville's still winning. Thank you for tuning in. Big Blue Breakdown. We'll have a podcast out probably Thursday. We'll be talking Tennessee postgame, hopefully in better spirit. We'll have a Tennessee postgame next Saturday. Game's at 8, so we'll probably be rolling pretty late about this time. I don't know what y'all got planned on Saturday night. Like, share, come in. I'm going to figure out a way to bring in people and talk to them. Everybody that was in here tonight, I definitely want to talk to you guys. Thank you for sharing this, because I know anyone listening, anyone who's actually tuned in and ridden this wave, I know that if we win Saturday, you will be as excited as I am knowing that you were as disappointed as we are today. If that makes sense. I doubt it did. We're out. Thank you for everybody. Big Blue Breakdown. Didn't stop. Maybe it didn't. There it is. I wonder if it stopped.